Yay Media Group.
If you have an elf on the shelf that you've lost, you know the stress. I was already like, okay, I'm going to send Jeff to Michael's, Walmart, Target. Like, he's got to find this elf. Like, and then I was trying to think, oh, wait, Amazon, would they deliver an elf on the shelf like by the morning? It's stressful. Hey guys, episode 94. I was just looking in the camera and my legs are so white and crusty. They're like dry.
You need to put some lotion on those dry turkeys.
You want to gnaw on it?
It's so dry here in Colorado. I was just talking to a friend the other day, and he's like, why don't you have the humidifier system in your house? Remember last time we had the AC guy?
Yeah, they can install it.
Yeah, because we just have humidifiers in different rooms, and then they break, and then you have to get another one. I think I just got to bite the bullet and get those.
I know a friend that had somebody come and install all of it.
I heard it's not that crazy, to get that in there.
That's a good Christmas idea.
Yeah, I think we're going to do that, especially for those.
We like our AC guy. His name is, what's his name?
Is it Tom?
Oh, not Tom Schwartz. And so he probably thinks we're idiots. He came to our house and Jeff goes, wait, Tom Schwartz is your name? And he goes, do you watch Vanderpump? And the guy's like, no. And
I'm like, everywhere you go, people aren't like, are you Tom Schwartz?
And he goes, I think I've heard it before, but I don't know. So when he comes to our house, I'm like, what's up, Schwartzy?
And he's great. Well, shout out to him. If you're in the Denver area, he's
awesome.
Yeah, really great.
And he'll fix. We thought our AC was broke. And I feel like people come in our neighborhood and you get a special. They upgrade you and charge you extra. And somebody had told me that it was going to be, our furnace, they told me, what did they say? 15,000, I think. And then our AC, they told me 20,000. And I was like, what? And I always go to Retired Neighbor because he was in building business.
Commercial stuff,
yes. Yeah. He knows a lot of people. And he was like, oh my gosh, no, you're getting ripped off. So he always hooks me up with his people, and they're legit. They're good. They don't upcharge you. They're very honest. Yeah.
Yeah. So he hooked it up, but whatever. I was thinking about that because it's so dry. Lawson, his hands, he can't even move them because they crack. He's starting to get the chapped lips. Leighton gets bloody noses like me if I don't have a humidifier because it's so dry. But I think that's something I'm going to bite the bullet. And Jordan's leg looks like a ham bone. Yeah, so for our family's sake, I think I got to bite the bullet and put that humidifier in.
I buy everything for like cracked heels. And Sandy, who does my nails, she's so funny. She normally never does my feet, but this one day I was there with my dad. She was like, I can do your feet. And she's like, your heels are so bad. I go, I know, Sandy. And I've never had this problem ever until I moved to Denver.
Yeah, it's dry here. It's dry here.
No,
anyways,
it's bad.
I know.
No, have you ever had...
We're going to keep going about dryness?
I've never had this before. And I was talking about this at a girl's lunch and we were laughing so hard. Have you ever had your heel crack on the inside? It's almost like a paper cut for your heel.
No.
And it bleeds. Mine will do that. And it is painful and it hurts.
It's because it's so dry?
Because it's so dry. And I have everything I have stuff that works that's it does pretty good, but it still gets super dry. And we were all laughing because they all have the exact same thing with their heels. It just cuts. It's like your heel just cuts in half.
Why?
I don't know. Mine does it every year. Every year it does it. I just had it recently. And I always say I walk funny. I walk extra funny when I have a cracked heel because it hurts to walk on it.
Are you half amphibian?
What?
I don't know. Don't they have dry skin, amphibians?
My hands now, they're super dry.
Anyways, let's get to some Dear Crabby, some Q&A. I know it's the holidays. People are busy, just running around. So we're just going to take some questions today, keep it nice and simple. I complained a lot on the last one, so we're going to keep it nice and upbeat.
We're going to keep it light. Let's see. What do you want to start with? Crabbies or Q&A?
Let's do Crabbies. Maybe I'll go on a little rant and then we'll bring it back up for the end.
Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to We're just going to go right down the list. This is from Elise. Hi, Jeff and Jordan or Crabbies. Do either of you have a hobby the other person does not care for? The guy I'm dating is a gamer, and the way he plays often, it makes it part of his daily routine, is not something I am fond of. I love my reality shows and movies, so I don't know if I have room to talk. Am I being too harsh? Is this a red flag?
Okay, I'll jump in. I think if that's how he likes to unwind, as long as it's not like 6 hours a night and you're staying up all sorts of hours a night, or if you have kids and he's kind of neglecting the kids to play video games, I think that might be a red flag. But I take a lot of time and work out and do things for myself, and you like your reality shows, and you're saying, so I think it's okay to do things on your own. Like if Jordan wants to watch a murder show while I watch football, I think that's okay. You don't always have to do everything together. Of course, it's nice, and we try to make time when we get our shows that we like together. I love that. But I think taking time for yourself isn't necessarily a bad thing, as long as it's not excessive.
I think it's balance. I think you need to have balance with your relationship, making time for each other, but balance with your the person you're dating. If you were playing games all the time, I would get a little grossed out by it. But there's shows, if you don't like, I just go upstairs and watch it. But something we bond on is murder or documentary.
Yeah, I like a good documentary.
Anything action, drama, we like that. So we make time. But I know how you are about working out. Jeff likes working out in our basement here. I don't. There's no windows. I can't stand it. I would rather be outside walking, but that's just me. That's who I am. And you don't like to walk at all. You won't walk with me. So it's like, I know what you like. I know what you don't like.
I'd rather just run and get it over with than walk.
Yeah, but I like the walking and enjoying like that. I miss walking with my mom. She was always my walking buddy, you know? So I think it's just finding balance. Maybe see if he'll watch some of your reality shows. There's shows that I don't like that I'll watch with you, but really reality shows, I don't really like any of them anymore. And you're all down for the reality shows, but normally I just go upstairs.
I'm down with Alone. That's the first one that pops in my head.
Yeah.
Alone. I like the Challenge, MTV's Challenge still. What else do I watch? That's really
Below Deck.
Oh, Below Deck. Yeah.
That's your number one.
Belows.
And selling.
I love those
$1 million.
on Netflix. I do. You're right. I do like those.
You like the $1 million listings.
Yeah. And I got back into Big Brother this year. I watched that. So I do like oh man. Is that considered a reality show?
Oh, maybe it's not. No, maybe that's.
But it is real. I mean, it is kind of.
No, the other one that's like First 48. That's your new thing, and you sit all
Investigation
day.
Raw.
Yes, that's your new thing.
Man, if you haven't seen those Investigation Raws, they're really disturbing. I talked about one.
You don't even have to repeat it.
Guy ate the other one's plums, but go listen to my old podcast. But you really get to look into a mind of a psycho. And I don't know if that's the draw from like all this murder craze that people are going through, but the psychology of why people do what they do really fascinates me. And I think that's the draw for a lot of murder shows. Right. But I don't suggest it because it kind of does take over your psyche a little bit. If you're always on that murder stuff, it affects me. Like if I'm watching a show that's not, just murder and no good and just all action and fighting, it's like when I go to sleep, I can't unwind. That's why I always have to watch something. Like you said, it's about balance.
It's balance and communication. So just communicate that.
Yeah.
And if he loves you, he will.
Yeah. But taking time for yourself, I think is a all right thing.
Okay. So this is from Cam. If you could go back in time, is there anything you wish you had done before you got married or had kids? I feel like there is a pressure from everyone and myself to do everything I want to do solo, or it will never happen. Would love your thoughts. Thank you. That's a good question.
That's a good question. You know what? Let's take it on the other side of this break. We're going to take a quick break. And then Cam, when we come back, we're going to answer that question because I think I have a good answer.
Okay, so I have been using the JLO Beauty Deluxe Kit. It comes with the moisturizer. I have the serum, the eye cream. Jeff loves the eye cream. Jeff's all into JLO Beauty right now.
You might not think it, but JLO Beauty sent us the kit to try out, and I am almost out of the lotion because I use it every single night.
You love lotion.
Well, there's face cleaner, there's moisturizer, there's under eye cream, and it's so dry here in Denver. I used up all the facial moisturizer.
Yeah, the packaging is very pretty. It feels expensive.
It's all in one kit. Even Jeff could look beautiful on it.
Jeff had a ridiculous skincare. I think he used a bar of soap. That's what your skincare used to be because he didn't want to. It's true. And you didn't.
I was getting better as I got older.
No, when we were dating and I used to go down to your basement and it was like so 80s. I felt like how you cleaned your skin. And now you're on board with the JLO Glow.
Well, you ever see those memes lately about how guys wash their face as opposed to girls?
Yes, like you're rough.
Yeah, I'm very rough.
Yes.
When I wash my face and I need to be more gentle.
What's your favorite moisturizer?
The Blockbuster.
I knew you were going to say that.
What do you think the secret is?
Okay, it's her 5-step routine. It's featuring 5 multitasking formulas designed to cleanse, refresh, and prep your skin to take on the day. That JLO Deluxe Kit is an easy-to-follow AM/PM solution that gives your skin a smoother, visibly brighter look, improves the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. That's Jeff. He's got a lot of wrinkles. And, a lot of fine lines in the forehead. And protects against UVAs and UVBs. And when you get your package, there is, it's nice because there's like this little card, a JLO Beauty card that comes in and it tells you what each thing is and how to use it and explains it all for you.
And like Jordan said, I really love the Blockbuster Hydrating Cream. No joke. My skin is so much more plump and dewy. And I see why 100% of the people from an 8-week clinical study who tried it had smoother skin. Just look at me.
JLO Beauty's products look and feel luxurious with ingredients and packaging that you would expect from the most premium skincare products. That's what I was saying to you guys. You look and feel important.
Exactly. So get the only skincare routine you'll ever need. Head to jlobbeauty.com/togetherness to receive 20% off plus 3 free gifts, including 2 quality face masks and 1 hydrating Beso Balm. I love it. Head to jlobbeauty.com/togetherness for 20% off and 3 free gifts, a $175 value. That's jlobbeauty.com/togetherness, MESS.
Welcome back. This is a good question. This is from Cam. If you could go back in time, is there anything you wish you had done before you got married or had kids? I feel like there is a pressure from everyone and myself to do everything I want to do solo, or it will never happen. I would love your thoughts. Thank you.
All right. So mine is, I had the answer already, but mine is, I really do believe everything happens for a reason. I know it sounds cliche, and I love traveling and I love seeing the world. And I was fortunate enough to do that right out of college. I went over to Europe and then lucky enough to get that around the world for free show. And then we did a lot of traveling together on Amazing Race and other things and charities that we sponsored. But we got all that kind of, I wouldn't say out of our system, but we did a lot of that, luckily enough, before we got married. But if you wait for the perfect time for everything, I don't feel like it's ever going to happen. Like we're blessed with our 2 boys. We didn't really plan that. And had we planned that, there wouldn't have been a perfect time. Because I always would say, I want more money. I need to be in a better career. You always want something better instead of just enjoying the moment. So my suggestion would say, if you really want to do those things like travel or spend some time, pull the trigger now, because there's never going to be a perfect time. You're never going to have enough money. You're never going to be in a spot. Life happens and bad things happen, unfortunately, and you're never going to get to that spot where you're going to pull the trigger. I say jump right in with 2 feet if you really want it done, and the rest I think will take care of itself because, like I said, I think everything really does happen for a reason.
I don't know how to answer a question. That was really good. That was kind of like where I was going at.
Yeah.
It's never a good time. I'm the one that's like, I want everything planned, and everything I've done in my life is not planned. Nothing we have done is traditional or planned. And you know what? I kind of like it.
Yeah.
And we're kind of, my dad used to say, you're just living on the edge. And that's how we were. And that's what works for us. I would say if that's something you want to do, go and travel now. It is like we definitely don't travel like we used to because we do have the kids and it is a little bit harder. But then again, you make time for that. We're lucky enough. Like my dad, I can call him every time, never tells me no. I'm like, can you watch the kids so we can go here? No problem. Jeff can call his parents, just let us know, and they will fly here. So that's really nice. But we're not going somewhere every other week. So I think that's why our grandparent, it's every
maybe once
6 months.
Yeah, once or twice a year.
6 months we ask. So it's like they get their kid, they get to see the grandkids and get fulfilled, and then they get to go home and relax after the kids. So I would say do it.
Yes. Yeah. Do it like Nike says. All right. You want to take another question?
Yes. Okay. So this is from Alex. Hey, Jeff and Jordan, love you both and need your help on how to navigate a situation. I'm a new mom and would love to stay home full time, but with how things are right now, my husband and I need to both be working. We have come to terms with that's just how things are, and it doesn't mean forever. My mother-in-law does not feel that way. She is very vocal about mom should be home, and this will forever hurt my son to be in childcare. Her comments feel very shaming. I told her that was not possible, and if she could help a few days for balance. She said she was too busy and maybe one day every so often. Help. I feel like a bad mom, and now I don't know how to handle her.
Wow. Who wrote that?
Alex, I feel bad. Okay, one, the way things are now, these things aren't like how they were in the 80s, early 90s, where it was easier for people to live off of a family could live off of $80,000. Somewhere where we live in Denver, Colorado, it's like California prices. It is extremely expensive here. And most people that I know have 2 incomes. That's just how things are now. Most families now have to combine incomes to, if you have a family, there's nothing wrong with childcare. There's nothing wrong with putting your kid in childcare. I personally think childcare is overpriced and crazy, but I get people who work in childcare need to be paid, but you aren't doing anything wrong. You're helping your husband and you're helping your family financially by working. Yes, I know some people would love to stay home with your kids and raise them, but sometimes your family, you have to do what you have to do to help your family.
Yeah, I agree. This is a tough one, Alex, because, like Jordan said, things are crazy. It's not like if you even go and look up the stats of what things were to the 60s, to the 80s, to the 2000s. I mean, the housing market just through the roof, everything through the roof. That's no pun intended. But the one thing that hasn't gone up at the exact same rate is the income. So I think your scenario is probably going to relate to a lot of people, a lot of our listeners out there. And it's tough too when you're dealing with a mother-in-law from a different generation that is kind of set in her ways. And I'm not trying to knock your mother-in-law at all, but it's just different generations have different ideologies. And I thought it was always weird when I was a kid, like, why do they think like this? And then my parents think like this and I think like this. And now I'm at the age where I'm like, oh, I totally get it. The older generation thinks like this. I'm here. And the younger generation, I don't relate with at all. Right. It's like, go out there, work hard, and, and you could get whatever you want. Somehow that's like a weird ideology to have nowadays. So we were having that conversation the other day. But I think, again, you have to do what you have to do. I think your heart's in the right place. You want to be home with your kids. What mom probably doesn't. They all feel guilty maybe dropping their kid off at daycare. But then on the other side, you're providing them with heat and, the food they need and the clothing. And so it is a balance. And I think a lot of people relate to the hardship you're going through right now. And then in additional, having that family pressure on you. But on here,
she said her mother-in-law doesn't want to help with babysitting. She needs help.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know the situation of the mother-in-law, so I don't want to bash the mother-in-law.
We'll
by
help
any
a
means.
few days for balance.
Yeah,
but
it would
she's
be
too
nice
busy.
if you have family around to help. We don't have family around immediately. Like we just said, they fly in and they help us out as much as we want or they can. So we are blessed with that. But it's a tough situation, and I don't think daycare is the worst option. I think kids learn socialization skills in daycare, and sometimes when you're homeschooled and you don't have that socialization, that could mess with a child's psyche. So there are positives to having a daycare too, depending on where.
And then when you pick up your kid from work, the best thing is when you pick them up and how excited they are to see you, and you're excited to see them. And I think you're doing all the right things. And like Jeff said, your heart is in the right place and you're doing what you have to do for your family. It doesn't mean that you're always going to have to work. Eventually, maybe you don't have to. And
and I think it gives you I'm just trying to pick out the positive things on the other side. It's like you have a sense of pride, right? Because now you're providing for your kid. I know it's not ideal. You would love to be home with them, but you come home after a hard day's work. Like you said, you do enjoy your kids even more because you weren't with them all day. You have that sense of pride and accomplishment of putting in a day's work. So
I think like it's the independence too. Just like it feels good when you're working and you feel fulfilled. Like I worked at the salons. I worked up at the salon until I was 8-9 months pregnant with Lawson, but I do other things for work instead of, it's not traditional going to like a 9 to 5, but like doing my social media and stuff. And I've always, like I was saying, it makes me feel good that I don't ask you for money, like for hair, clothes, like anything like that, because I like that. And I help contribute and that makes me feel good.
All right. Well, that's a tough situation, Alex, but I really do think a lot of people are in that same boat, so do the best you can. And that's sad, but you're doing what you got to do.
Next one is from Larissa. Dear Crabby, I was hoping to get your intake on a situation I'm in. My cousin is getting married in Italy, October 2025. That's awesome. I'm her maid of honor, which she announced her wedding plans. I was newly pregnant, but was committed to going, thinking I would leave the new baby with family while we attended the wedding. Unfortunately, we miscarried. Oh, I'm sorry. I decided that it wasn't meant to be and that maybe we should postpone our family plans and just go to the wedding as one last hurrah before another baby comes our way. Well, this October, we experienced a surprise pregnancy and yet another miscarriage. Oh, I am so sorry, Larissa. I am justifying our losses as not meant to be. Also, I think these losses are my body's way of telling me to not postpone baby plans because this time around, it may take longer to have a second child. We have a 3-year-old. I spoke with my cousin, and of course she understands our situation, but I know she's disappointed at the thought of me not being there. The guilt of missing her wedding consumes me, but also I know that my husband does not want to postpone having a second child just because a family member decided to have an out-of-town wedding. I should note, traveling with children is out of the question for us. I would not be comfortable traveling with a newborn, and taking our 3-year-old would be a nightmare. I feel as though I'm leading both sides on. I told my cousin we will try our best to attend her wedding, but also told my husband that we should start trying in the new year. What would you do? Do you think I should stop feeling guilty and just wait to see what happens? Airfare tickets are on sale now, so it's giving me anxiety not purchasing now. Thank you for your help.
Wow, that was a long one, but it's a tough situation. First of all, I don't even want to try to speak on what it's like to miscarry or lose a child like that. I do know that I'm getting older, and it has happened to a bunch of families now. When I was younger, I didn't know how common it was. And now, especially getting to my age and people trying to have kids, it is more common than I know, but I don't know that feeling. And I think during that whole question, What I was hearing is you were answering your own question. I understand you don't want to let somebody down. But then again, I'm not saying your cousin's selfish. Who doesn't want to go to Italy and get married? That sounds beautiful. That sounds like a dream. But you can't expect everybody to drop their lives and financially support you and financially support yourself when you're going through something in your own individual family and fly all the way to Italy that puts a strain or a burden on your actual family. So I think communication with your cousin here is very important. I understand that you're the maid of honor. That puts added pressure. I understand you being Italian and getting married. That's definitely a cultural added pressure onto there. I know what that's like. But I mean, now you have FaceTime and things like that. And if you were doing a destination wedding, which we actually planned on doing, we did not expect everybody to come. And even if my mom was like, I'm afraid to fly, I wouldn't make her feel guilty about not coming to my wedding. And it's my own mother, because I don't want to make her uncomfortable if she doesn't want to go to a destination wedding. And I wouldn't expect anyone to come unless it fit their schedule. So you were kind of alluding to that towards the end there. I know your family, it seems like it's very, very important to you, and you guys had your struggles together. So I would try to communicate with your cousin and say, listen, it's just not going to work out for us. We've had these hardships. We don't want to go through that again. And financially, it's just a burden on us. I'll FaceTime you. I'll have a little party for you guys over here, but I don't think I can make Italy work, unfortunately, this time.
I think you answered that perfectly.
Wow. Pretty good at Dear Crabbies.
I know. I don't know how to come back at that. Well, one, I'm very sorry for your miscarriages. That's really sad. And I think, like Jeff said, communicate with your cousin. And I don't think you should have to feel bad for not going to the wedding. I mean, it's in Italy. It's somewhere else. Like someone shouldn't expect you to have to go there, especially with the 3-year-old. And then if you were pregnant again with the newborn, that's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. And I think most people do understand and maybe just try to have that communication with them. But again, I know how family is. I know how Italians are. They don't take that stuff lightly. But you just have to say, hey, listen, this is really what works for me right now. And unfortunately, Italy doesn't work into those plans. I'm so sorry. I wish I could be there. But I mean, my guess is that they're going to have the whole thing videotaped. So you're going to see it at some point. There's FaceTime, like I said. You know, the worlds are different than, it's not like you're writing a letter to them and saying, you know, arrivederci, send me a postcard. You could actually be there in some sense without burdening your actual family. So yeah. Want to take a break and then we'll come back and try to sneak one more in, or?
Yeah, we have some Q&As.
All right. We'll be right back with some question and answers.
Adulting is hard. I mean, nobody wants to pay your taxes, right? Just kidding. You always got your mortgage. You always have to figure out what's for dinner because you have kids. There's just a lot going on. I wish I was a kid.
Yeah.
Life was much easier.
And you know what's hard as well? Finding a good doctor. As you guys all know, I'm going through some life changes, some job changes, and I recently had to pick up some new insurance. And the hardest part about that is finding a good doctor. It's kind of like finding a good mechanic. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high quality in-network doctors so you choose the right one for your needs. All you do is click and instantly book that appointment. It's as simple as that. It's something we're going through right now as we speak.
We actually just went through that because I had a list of my doctors wrote down for Jeff. And I was like, I will not take this insurance if I cannot see my doctors.
Right. But if you don't have an insurance agent, ZocDoc is the perfect choice because you could instantly find out if your doctor is in network or not. And
you want something like this because a lot of doctors' offices these days, they want you to call the insurance and figure out if they're in network, and ZocDoc will let you know right away. We're talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, eye care to skincare, and much more.
Plus, ZocDoc appointments happen fast, typically within 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments.
I love same-day appointments because I'm so last minute all the time. So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/Togethermess to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today.
That's ZocDoc.com/togetherness, MESS. ZocDoc.com/togetherness. Welcome back. Again, I just want to thank everybody for writing in because some of these questions get deep and they're very personal. So thank you for trusting us with answering them. I don't know if we do a good job or not, but thank you so much. And if you want your question read on air, hopefully we get to it one day, just go to togetherness@gmail.com. Send us an email and hopefully we'll get to one of your questions one of these days.
Yes. Okay, so did you find your elf on the shelf? Because I did an Instagram post because we were ripping. I about died, you guys. And if you have an elf on the shelf that you've lost, you know the stress. I was already like, okay, I'm going to send Jeff to Michael's, Walmart, Target. Like, he's got to find this elf. Like, and then I was trying to think, oh, wait, Amazon, would they deliver an elf on the shelf like by the morning? It's stressful.
It's stressful.
Last night, you forgot to move the elf. That's his job. And I was laying in the bed and I was like, I didn't move it. And then I woke you up. Were you sleeping?
Yeah, I was waiting for you because I thought we were going to watch something.
I text you. I was like, don't worry about it. Leighton keeps waking up.
I saw this morning.
Oh, you saw?
I wasn't looking at my phone.
I texted Jeff and I said, don't worry about us watching something. Leighton, every time I moved and tried to sneak out, I was almost out the door. He goes, Mama, where are you going? Lay back down. And I was like, shoot. So then I went back and I laid down and then I fell asleep.
Yeah. And I went upstairs and I was watching something with Lawson downstairs. And I'm like, oh, don't forget to come back downstairs. And then I was waiting to find something to watch with you. Then I fell asleep. And then you luckily came in. I was like, oh my God.
So I moved it last night.
Who moved it? The elf moved itself.
Jeff you do a great job at moving the elf. You get creative with it. Me, I'm just like, all right, I normally do two places, the mantle and then up in our living room on like the shelves. I always do there anywhere high, but you'll like bend him upside down and like hang him. Yeah, you try to have fun with it.
There's some fun things I saw on the internet of like what the elves like, you know what I mean? Just like, being
Leighton
creative with like how they cause like trouble or something. And then like, I don't know. I just saw some funny things on the internet that I thought I might try this year too.
Okay, so let's see. What's another one? Describe a typical Christmas morning at the Schroeder's.
Oh, it's pretty traditional. I mean,
Leighton is the first one always up because he's so excited.
He gets his brother, make sure they're all together.
Wakes him up, wakes me, then goes to Jeff. Jeff is always the last. And he's running, he's excited. And they lean over the balcony and they can see all the presents over there. Last year, we actually moved it to our other tree in the living room. And you should have seen their faces. We tricked them. We moved it, remember?
Yeah.
To the living room. And they're like, oh, Santa didn't come. Santa didn't come. He forgot about us. And they were freaking out until they walked to the other tree and saw that Santa had been there. But yeah, it's just, I know we're only going to get a couple more years of this, like really excited. Like Leighton's all into it. He's like my Christmas boy. And Lawson's kind of plays it cool still, but we're not going to get many years of them just in their PJs running all excited. And then they're going to be teenagers and be like, thanks.
Yeah.
I love this.
I know. I wish I could freeze time. I'm sure a lot of people do, but 6 and 8, this is like the perfect prime time age, like you said, I don't know how many more years we're going to have of that. So them getting excited, they go down there, open their presents. Then usually we FaceTime our family. And usually when I grew up, we'd all open presents with the little mimosa. Oh. And actually, that brings me back to my childhood. Well, not childhood necessarily, but when I lived back at home, my mom and dad loved having like little mimosas, and then we'd have smoked fish.
In the morning?
Like after we're done opening presents and before we eat. I love that. I know you don't like a smoked fish, but I love it. It reminds me of Christmas growing up. Yeah. Maybe I'll get some smoked fish this year.
It stinks.
I love it.
And then the juice gets in our fridge and I hate it. And then my finger touches it and it's hard to get that
smell off. Put a little
off.
Fish juice on your dry scales. See if that helps.
I'll rub it all over me.
All right.
You'll want to eat. Okay. What are you and Jeff's love languages? I think mine, because I think is what is the like I like doing for others. And my love language is like buying something. If I buy something, for instance, other day I went to the dermatologist for a follow-up for the Mohs surgery. They wanted to check everything. And there was a Dunkin' Donut beside the place, and there's not one near us. And I picked Jeff up a Dunkin' Donuts coffee. And that was just like, for me, that was saying like, oh, sweet. Love you.
Oh, that was nice. Yeah, that was nice. Mine is maybe I try to cook the best I can for you.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got you this. I know you love these. Like every time I grill, I usually throw, and I know this isn't a love language. You're gonna think I'm a loser, but Jordan loves those jalapeno bacon wrapped.
Cream cheese.
Yeah, cream cheese inside.
So
she
good.
loves them. And, every time I cook, I'm like, oh, I got to get those for Jordan while I'm cooking because I know she likes those. I know it sounds cheesy. You rather have an Hermes bag. Yes. But my love language is through
Hermes.
Food. Whatever. What's cool now? I don't know.
I'm not a Hermes person. You got to be like fancy for that.
If it's in a rap song, I know what it is. Otherwise, I don't know.
Yeah, no, you do that. You love cooking for people you love.
Yeah. That's kind of my
love.
love.
Service, isn't that a love language?
Yes. All right, let's take one more and then we'll wrap this bad boy up because people got things to do. Not me, the listeners.
Where did that question go? Oh, would you guys ever consider doing a rewatch podcast of your BB seasons? I would.
That's interesting.
Because I think people could kind of see, I mean, it's going back. You might forget some things, how you were feeling. But yeah, going back and watching, that would kind of be funny because I don't really remember a lot of it.
I think that would be, listen, you guys let us know if that's something you'd be interested in because I'd be interested in that because now I've told this story in the past. The only time I go back and watch our seasons, and we never went back and watched our full seasons of anything. Actually, we watched Amazing Race because it's not live. So I watched that as it went on, but we were only on half the season. But Big Brother, I never went back and watched. The only time I do is if I have too many drinks on like a Saturday night and I wander over to YouTube and I'll pop on some of these videos and I'm like, oh my God, I totally forgot about that. And it brings back a lot of memories that I had because I forgot. I mean, geez, how many episodes is that a year? Like 50? I mean, there's so many episodes.
So many.
You can't remember everything that happened all the time.
But we could pick a couple highlights like coup
but
d'etat.
I think you guys I think that'd be interesting having our natural reaction if we're watching a video and be like, oh my God, I totally forgot about that. You know? So I think that would be interesting from the audience point of view to see how we felt in the moment, because especially that first season, there was so many twists and turns and surprises that we had no idea because we haven't really watched.
Is there
Big
a way
Brother.
we could do that on the podcast where we could see people writing in like their comments?
I think
and
so.
Like asking questions. Like we can pick a couple highlights that happened those seasons. There was a lot going on BB11.
Yeah.
And pick those and comment on them and then talk with people.
Yeah, but I want one of us to go in fresh. If the producers pick the videos, I think that'd be best so we don't see them or jogs our memory, because I want the natural reaction. Because actually I don't, because on Saturdays I probably have too much to drink and I get emotional. So sometimes I'm watching those by myself and I'm like, oh my God, or I'll start crying by myself. I'm like, that was so beautiful. So that would be something I think the audience would really appreciate, or lock me up in a sane asylum because I'm nutty. But yeah, my natural reaction to that stuff, because it was such an amazing time and experience. And we owe so much to Big Brother for, just if it wasn't Big Brother, we wouldn't be here, and we wouldn't have our family. So there is that appreciation when I do watch it. I'm like, wow, all of this is because of that.
Thank you, Robin, for casting us.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, on that note, we're going to get out of here. I got to do I got to get some Christmas shopping. I'm getting my deals.
Yeah.
I got some pickup orders. This is my first time.
Maybe put some lube on that list.
Lube? All I need is lotion.
Oh,
listen,
you need more than lotion.
I have stuff for cracked skin.
Not that kind of lube. I meant like mechanic grade lube for Jordan's legs. Not.
You were talking about the other.
Not dry in other places.
Well, they do have lube now at Target. We've talked about that. The sex lube.
Get yourself a stocking stuffer. Go to Target today.
All right. My gynecologist told me she gives that out as gifts. She said always have lube that you give out as gifts for your girlfriends. And I'm like, what? Okay.
Merry Christmas, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.